Section 10 of Library of the World's Best Literature, Ancient and Modern, Volume 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Martin Geeson. Library of the World's Best Literature, Ancient and Modern, Volume 2. Section 10. Selected Poems by Aneurin. Aneurin, 6th century A.D. Among the triad of singers, Llywarch, prince and bard, Aneurin, warrior and bard, and Taliesin, bard only, who were among the followers of the heroic British chief, Urien, when he bravely but unsuccessfully resisted the invasion of the victorious Angles and Saxons, Aneurin was famous both as poet and warrior. He sang of the long struggle that eventually was to turn Britain into England, and celebrated in his Gododin 90 of the fallen Cymric chiefs. The notes of his life are scanty, and are drawn chiefly from his allusion to himself in his poem. He was the son of Cwm Cawlwyd, a chief of the tribe of Gododin. He seems to have been educated at St. Cadoc's College at Llancarvan, and afterwards entered the bardic order. As appears from the Gododin, he was present at the Battle of Catraeth, both as bard and as priest. He fled, but was taken prisoner. In his poem he refers to the hardships he endured in his captivity. After his release he returned to Llancarvan, Wales, and in his old age he went north to live with his brother in Galloway. Here he was murdered. His death is referred to as one of the 3 accursed hatchet strokes of the Isle of Britain. His friendship with Taliesin is commemorated by both bards. The Gododin is at once the longest and the most important composition in early Welsh literature. It has been variously interpreted, but is thought to celebrate the Battle of Catraeth. This battle was fought in 570 between the Britons, who had formed a league to defend their country, and their Teutonic invaders. It began on a Tuesday, lasted for a week, and ended with great slaughter of the Britons, who fought desperately till they perished on the field. 360 chieftains were slain. Only 3 escaped by flight, among whom was Aneurin, who afterwards commemorated the slaughter in the Gododin, a lament for the dead. 97 of the stanzas remain. In various measures of alliterative and assonant verse they sing the praises of 90 of the fallen chiefs, usually giving 1 stanza to each hero. One of these stanzas is known to readers of Gray, who translated it under the name of The Death of Howel. Again, the Gododin is assumed to be, like many early epic poems whose origin is wrapped in mystery, not the commemoration of one single particular event, but a collection of lays composed at various times, which compresses into one battle the long and disastrous period of the Anglo-Saxon invasion, ending in the subjugation of the Britons. But whatever its history, the Gododin is one of the finest monuments of Cymric literature. In the brevity of the narrative, the careless boldness of the actors as they present themselves, the condensed energy of the action, and the fierce exultation of the slaughter, together with the recurring elegiac note, this poem, or poems if it be the work of 2 authors, has some of the highest epic qualities. The ideas and manners are in harmony with the age and the country to which it is referred. Like all early songs, the poem was handed down through centuries by oral tradition. It is now preserved in the Book of Aneurin, a small quarto manuscript of 19 leaves of vellum, of the end of the 13th century. The Gododin has been published with an English translation and notes by the Rev. J. Williams, 1852, and by the Cymrodorion Society, with a translation by Thomas Stevens, in 1885. Interesting information covering it may be found in Skene's Four Ancient Books of Wales, 1866, and in the article Celtic Literature in this work. The Slaying of Owain. During the battle a conference was held, at which the British leaders demanded as a condition of peace that part of the land of Gododin be restored. In reply, the Saxons killed Owain, one of the greatest of the Cymric bards. Aneurin thus pictures him: a man in thought, a boy in form, he stoutly fought, and sought the storm of flashing war that thundered far. His courser, lank and swift, thick-maned, bore on his flank, as on he strained, the light brown shield, as on he sped, with golden spur, in cloak of fur, his blue sword gleaming. Be there said no word of mine that does not hold thee dear. Before thy youth had tasted bridal cheer, the Red Death was thy bride. The ravens feed on thee, yet straining to the front to lead. Owain, the friend I loved, is dead. Woe is it that on him the ravens feed. The fate of Hoel, son of the great Cian. From various expressions used by Aneurin in different parts of his great poem, it is evident that the warriors of whom he sang fortified themselves before entering the field of battle with unstinted libations of that favourite intoxicant of those days, sweet mead. He mentions the condition of the warriors as they started for the fray, and tells of Hoel's fate. This son of Cian had married the daughter of one of the Bryneich. His marriage caused no abatement of a feud existing between the tribes, to which the husband and wife respectively belonged. He repudiated her family, disdained to take her away, and was sought and slain by her insulted father. The warriors marched to Catraeth, full of mead, drunken but firm of array. Great the shame, but greater the valour, no bard can defame. The war dogs fought fiercely, red swords seemed to bleed. Flesh and soul, I had slain thee myself, had I thought, son of Cian, my friend, that thy faith had been bought by a bribe from the tribe of the Bryneich. But no, he scorned to take dowry from the hands of the foe, and I, all unhurt, lost a friend in the fight, whom the wrath of a father felled down for the slight. The giant Gwrveling falls at last. The bard tells the story of Gwrveling's revelry, impulsive bravery, and final slaughter of the foe before yielding to their prowess. Light of lights, the sun, leader of the day, first to rise and run his appointed way, crowned with many a ray, seeks the British sky. sees the flight's dismay, sees the Britons fly. The horn in Eithyn's hall had sparkled with the wine, and thither, at a call to drink and be divine, he went, to share the feast of reapers, wine and mead. He drank, and so increased his daring for wild deed. The reapers sang of war, that lifts its shining wings of fire, its shields that flutter far. The bards too sang of war, of plumed and crested war. The song rose ever higher. Not a shield escapes the shock. To the field they fiercely flock, there to fall. But of all who struck on giant Gwrveling, whom he would, he struck again. All he struck in grave were lain, ere the bearers came to bring to his grave stout Gwrveling. End of section 10. Recording by Martin Geeson in Haslemere, Surrey.